MeTV 24 Meridian proudly presents your favorite way to start the day. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
And good morning from Scotty Ray and Candace as we begin a Tuesday morning. And Candace nearly didn't come in.
What?
Because you want to just stand over the air conditioner and lay on it for a few hours.
Look, it was burning up in my house yesterday, for sure. It was. But Scotty, he gave me a big fan to put in the living room. That did help because, I mean, it was like one of those big Max Air fans. So that did help. Thank you.
We are currently, and if you're thinking, what are you guys talking about? If you live out of town, not sure what we're doing, you're watching wherever it may be. We've been without power here in our area due to a storm that came about. And as we pull this up, our numbers this morning are looking so much better. Last night when I spoke with Julie from EMEPA, it was at 1,500, and during the 5 to 20 minutes we were on the phone interviewing each other, it came down to, I dropped another 5, and it was 1,000 at dark, and they got another 500 taken care of overnight. So they hit the boots running this morning with 549 people to take care of today.
Yes, they were. I mean, they were out and about everywhere yesterday. And it wasn't just EMEPA. It was, they had brought those other people in, and they were helping all around the area. So thank you so much to these people who were out doing that yesterday. I'm telling
Hard
you
work.
what, yes, it is.
129 folks in Kemper County, 7 in Winston County, Lauderdale down to 389, 23 in Newton County, and 1 in Neshoba County as they go to get everybody's electricity back on. And boy, does it really make you appreciate Ben Franklin.
Yes, it does. Because I'm going to tell you, I was so worn out last night. I mean, I was just tired because I didn't sleep the night before with all of it. And then yesterday I was tired and I kept saying I was going to take a nap. Well, then I got busy at home, like just cleaning because I couldn't do anything else. You couldn't get on the internet. You couldn't do anything.
Kurt said it's about time. Just saying.
Look, I keep my house straight usually. But anyway, that's all I did yesterday. So last night about 10 o'clock, I just felt like I was crashing. So
I slept hard last night. When I woke up this morning, it was, where am I?
I know. I got like puffy eyes this morning because I slept hard too. I was so glad to feel that air conditioner going.
Now, I want to bring this up as we've been a few days now without power. I want to bring this up because it's potential. You know how you were without power this weekend? That could happen again this coming weekend. We don't know that. I'm just saying, I brought this up earlier when I done weather at 6:30. Go ahead and get you a little gas. If you've got a generator, stockpile you 3 or 4 cans worth in case this becomes an issue. And what we're looking at, this is the 5-day outlook of a possible disturbance, and what this would be a tropical depression. At most, I think they say that it could turn into a not a hurricane, just under that. It'll come to me in just a second. Tropical storm. But as you'll look at this, Meridian could see 35-mile-an-hour winds. The further you go to the coast, 52. And, this would be gusting up to that.
And we don't need that because the trees are already weak, a lot of them.
You look at this further makes that bad because of the rain amounts. You look at Gulfport. Houma, Louisiana, New Orleans area, 8 to 10 inches of rain if it follows this path. Now, that's going to make more trees fall should this come about. And let's look at radar while we're talking about all this and what could happen of the spaghetti models that are out there. Again, as we look at this, it's sitting right here. This is it coming. Now, yesterday it had it directly coming through the Meridian area. Let me turn it. I didn't have that on for everybody to see. But here it is sitting down here in the Gulf. It's going to rise up. Yesterday, it had a direct thing coming through Meridian. It's changed a little bit now. As we look at the timeline here, this could be Monday at 1 a.m. as it moves across here. This would have this coming in right about east of Houma, cutting across through New Orleans and then through Gulfport, and then that would put that wind blowing up this way to about 35 in our area here. Now, this side of the storm will be the worst. That's the east side. But we are so early, and this is Tuesday, and we're talking Saturday, Sunday, we're not sure, and this could move over and bring that east rain to us, or it could come on down through Mobile. It's a lot to be determined. And, here's another path here that it would go through Texas, just west of Houston. Again, this is all a guessing game as we wait this out. But be prepared on this, that something more could happen with this storm as it comes near us. And none of us want to be without power. Is that proper English? None of us?
Yeah, none of us.
Welcome to a very Southern show.
It's exactly right. We're so Southern.
Yeah, we're not exactly the CNN type voices that you're used to hearing.
Yeah, I don't think I could even act like that. I mean, I could probably act it, but
I used to watch Peter Jennings as a kid and think, yeah, how'd you pronounce that name? And then I never learned to pronounce it. So I could not be what Peter did.
yeah, I have to just be myself. So I can't be anything else.
Yeah, I'd have to refer to foreign leaders as, what's his name?
Yeah.
Here's how you spell it. Y'all take your best guess at it. Because there's some dilly-dallies in this world that I just literally cannot pronounce. No matter how hard I try, I can't. The pronunciation of some of these names.
It takes me a minute sometimes to kind of study it and kind of.
And see, and then my 20 years in radio, when we used to do, birthdays used to be a big deal on the radio. Not so much nowadays.
Yeah.
But back in the day, to hear your name on the radio, that was a pretty big deal. And I learned early on that if I couldn't recognize the spelling, I'd spell out everybody's name the way it was supposed to be said. So that messed up my spelling ability of proper English. I'd spell everything the way I was going to say it. And, I still do that.
Yeah.
Nobody understands it but me.
Well, as long as you understand it, that's what's matters.
Yeah, all's fine and dandy.
Matters. I can't even talk.
Until you make a post and everybody's going, what'd you just do?
Yeah.
Welcome. If this is your first time joining us, we'd like to say thank you. We're on Facebook. We're also on YouTube and Twitch, and we're on television here on MeTV. If you would like to interact with us, you can do so by typing a message through Facebook, and we'll be able to see what you're saying, all live at the same time. Pretty neat.
That's right. I mean, it's fun too. I mean, to interact with us and just ask us questions. Sometimes help us out when we're, can't figure out what a answer to something is, But it's really fun. I mean, I've had a good time, and it's a blessing having y'all on here.
I got an obscure question for you.
What?
And this is just one of those lady questions.
Okay.
Because I've seen it done, and I think there's absolutely no way I could ever do that.
Okay.
Do you pluck your eyebrows?
I do.
How on God's green earth can you do that without squealing? That is, why don't I just take a scissor and you can't just take a scissor and clip the long hair?
Yeah, you can. But that ain't gonna help it coming out of the skin. So
like when you pluck, how many hairs are we talking? Just like one, or are we talking 10?
Well, I mean, the initial, like when you first start doing it, because I used to have like thick eyebrows.
I can see you with thick.
I look like I kind of look like this, So my eyebrows were so thick. But yeah, a lot of people do that or wax them. Waxing is the quicker. I'm not gonna say it's painless because it is.
I've seen that online.
It does hurt. So.
They take that tape and give it a jank, and you squeal right after.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Madison pulled a hair out of my ear one night. She walked by and she goes, "Daddy, you got big hair," and jank, and I thought I was going. Ooh.
Well, when you pluck the little one hair, I mean, it hurts a lot worse to me than if you did each one than just waxing it really quick.
Right.
It's just a better, quicker option.
I'm learning. This stuff's pretty serious
there.
there.
I mean, they can.
Women are definitely
we have to endure all kind of pains.
And I think most men would agree with me now. There is no man in the world that should be allowed in a birthing room. When they go to have babies, men are not supposed to be up in there. When Angie went, I like to pass out. I mean, it literally affected me.
Yeah, some men they're weak.
Well, they were going to have. Dylan Ray was supposed to.
Weak.
I'm weak. When it comes to that, I get weak in the knees.
Weak stomachs.
I get lightheaded when I see any form of blood. I can't handle it. Yeah. But she's supposed to have like a old normal there, give a baby thing, and next thing we know, they come out with this big knife and said we got to do a C-section. And I thought, ugh.
And you had to stay in there, didn't you?
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Well, she told me I couldn't leave. And I've had nightmares for the last 27 years.
Oh, goodness.
Every night it comes to mind. I go, oh. So
yeah.
I'm just saying, don't go in there unless you're forced.
Most women, though, like who have had multiple children, when they have that first one, it is a painful experience. I mean, obviously, but most of them will say right after that, I'd do it all over again. I mean, because it's worth the pain. It's worth going through the pain.
Oh, Megan over there says you get used to plucking.
Yeah.
I ain't so sure.
You do. I mean, and most of the time after you've done it for so many years, they really don't grow back as much. You know.
So they go away eventually. We'll get to some comments here in just a moment. I wanted to bring this up because this is just really stolen the hearts of Mississippi. Let me go to my Facebook page here and pull this up here. Buddy, as they've put out a new update this morning from Tunica. Buddy is at Mississippi State. Let's pull up the picture there so you can see. This is Buddy sitting on the doctor's couch.
Oh.
As you'll see, the bandages now go back a little bit further there, and you see that pink area there on his nose. What they're saying in the latest post here is, you'll read this here. Let's pop that up there. They're not real sure that the rest of his fur will ever come back. It may be because he's had skin grafts.
Right.
It's going to be sometime. He's been in there 8 weeks now at the hospital. It's going to be a little bit longer, but things are shaping up. I think Buddy can see pretty good.
Yeah, that'd be good. I know he'll be glad when he can get that off this face.
They go on to say that Buddy does not like getting in the rain anymore. He sleeps, will not go outside when it rains. And our hearts go out to Buddy in the traumatic experience that he went through. If you're watching, going, what are we talking about? A kid that got no punishment because he was too young set Buddy on fire, tied him up with an electrical cord, and set him on fire.
That is so horrible.
Yeah, I know. One of the worst things that I have ever read. Just gives me the willies thinking about it. So
people who do stuff like that, I mean, you know, they cannot be.
There ought to be
right
something done about that. I don't care age. That's
I mean, because that, you know, a child who does stuff like that will become an adult.
You're absolutely right.
Do stuff like that. So.
And so they're trying to change the law on that now. That's where the situation is right now. So we hope something can be done. But keep your prayers for Buddy. He's doing so much better. And then I don't know how they will do the adoption, but if you'll remember, there's also another puppy dog that was with it. There was two dogs together that they played together, and I think they want them adopted out together.
Yeah, that would be good.
So we'll watch that. Let's say some good mornings here. Let me back up and let's see who all we got going on with us today.
Miss Joyce Godwin, good morning. And Claudine Baskin, good morning to you.
Alicia Fisher joins us along with Milton Savell. Thank you.
Pat Banks says good morning from Macon, Mississippi. And Miss Judy Ann Cook says good morning and happy Tuesday.
Already Tuesday. Whoa, the week's flying.
I know it.
Donna Roseman says good morning along with Terry Carter. Thank you.
Miss Linda Culpepper, good morning. And she says, have a blessed and terrific Tuesday. And Teresa Miner says, good morning from Wynot.
Yeah, I like a Wynot.
Folks out in Wynot.
Oh, do you now?
I do.
I didn't know that. Denise Wheat is watching along with Charlotte Gray. Thank you for watching there.
Tiffany Allen says, good morning. It's a great day to be a Mississippi State Bulldog. And they're Omaha bound. Because they won.
That is great. Yeah, thumbs up to Mississippi State. Everybody is so proud of State. College World Series. Everything that you see on Facebook, everybody shouting with glee, and it's great.
Yeah.
I've never used that word glee before. I just thought I would say that. Tallulah Dowling said that she'd mentioned she's been having to stay in a hotel due to she's got somebody in her family, her father, that has to have oxygen, and they needed to have, and we understand that.
Yes.
And we are working hard. She's thanking everybody for what they do. So hopefully you'll be back at home before too long.
Yes.
Hope so.
It's always good when you get back home. And get
Ain't
your own
nothing
bed
like it.
and-
Them old beach trips are okay, but ain't nothing like crawling up in your own sheets, is it?
I know. That's why I like camping, because we have our own bed there too, you know.
Yeah, you get.
So it's kind of like a home away from home, you know. But let's see, Megan Segovia and Ryan Boykin, they give their little I'm here.
Yeah, well, thank y'all.
Thany Stovall, good morning. And Miss Ann Downs McKee, good morning to you also.
Let's see, Megan, how do you say her last name?
Segovia.
Yeah, she was talking about how bad it was about Buddy there and the turmoil that he went through.
Yeah.
Amanda, is it Heiser? Good morning to you also.
Yes.
Miss Mary Harrison, we thank you also.
Yes.
Let's see here. As we talk about all the different storms that come through, again, we mentioned be prepared for what possibly could come this weekend. Hopefully, I'm making something out of nothing. and this will go away.
Well,
We'll all be
you never
happy.
know with hurricanes. They're so unpredictable.
They are.
You know, when they're first out there and just kind of brewing, you know, you don't know. And I guess it depends on the heat in the waters. And
Hot
all that
mixes
kind of
and
stuff. All
where
that
it
kind of
goes
stuff.
from there.
A lot of different things.
If you're sitting in the heat and your air conditioning is not working right, Sanders want to help you out. They have same-day service. If yours goes kaput and will not turn on, they'll get out there in the same day to see if they can't get it working for you. A tune-up is only $69.99. Now, if you sit around for the last 24, 48 hours and have not had electricity and you think, I can't live with this ever again, call them today, 693-4054, and talk to them. They can hook you up with one of these generators. They'll come out, see how much your home has with the electricity, how much it draws, what all you need, how many air conditioners you had, and get you a generator on the way. And be prepared where you will not be without power. If you'll notice, all during these storms, we kept right on rolling, and that was due to we had one of these. Never lost lights whatsoever. They're great. They're wonderful. This is what it'll look like installed at your home. Chuck can get you going there. It's one of the best investments that you can make. And again, if you can't put up with that anymore, this has been one of the biggest years that we've ever gone through. See them at Sanders Gas, 22nd Avenue here in Meridian, and you won't have any more worries when it comes to any of that. See them today at Sanders Gas.
We had just moved to Mississippi. We were newlyweds. We both love being outdoors. We're young and athletic people. But none of that mattered when an 18-wheeler hit our little car. Hi, I'm Devin from Ridgeland. After our accident, we called Richard Schwartz. He was very professional, kind, and caring. But maybe most importantly, he got us the result we were looking for.
Remember, I'm your Mississippi attorney, Richard Schwartz. I'm here for you. One call, that's all.
I always think of a phone book when I see this guy. Always.
A phone book?
Yeah, Richard Schwartz, because he was always on the back of the phone book.
Oh, yeah.
One call,
Yeah.
that's all.
I thought you meant Waylon Jennings.
No, but the phone book is a thing of the past.
Yes. We've still got one, though. I saved it.
What you gonna do with it?
Well, a lot of times, you have numbers written in it and stuff that you had written down of other people's numbers or little notes and stuff like that. I don't know. I like the red one because, like, if somebody calls and you don't know who it is, you can look the number up, like a reverse lookup.
You know you can Google that, don't you?
I know you can, but sometimes I like. Well, that was before you could Google it, though. I mean, I guess it was before that.
She gives it. She just can't give up the old ways.
But I like to have a phone book. I'm so tired of everything. Just
But you could like
convenience is not always better, though. You know, like.
But Candace,
What?
I mean, it's at your fingertips. If you want to know,
I'm telling you, though.
the number to Piggly Wiggly, you type in Piggly Wiggly and it pops up on your phone. There it is. Call Joe.
Yeah, but what are we gonna do? Okay.
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 All right, I'm with you.
What are you gonna
Talk
do
to
when
me.
something like the internet crashes at some point?
Well, you won't be able to call them anyway because your phone ain't gonna work.
Well, it might. Hey, look. What if you have a house line or a landline? It will.
Yeah, the 5 people that have that left.
We have one.
Oh,
See?
one of 5 people.
Look, you're smart if you still have a landline.
It ain't.
'Cause I'm telling you, you might need the landline because if the phones go down and you can't get, of course, I mean, if nobody you calling has a landline.
She ain't thinking this out,
I
is she?
think people should keep their landlines. I do. I recommend you get one. They don't cost a whole ton.
Hank Williams Jr. had a song called Dinosaur.
Well, I'm telling you. I did a paper on this one time. Not technology is not always, the best thing to rely on. It's just not. I mean, I miss the times where people actually wrote stuff down, and I mean, I know it takes a little longer, but you have hard copies, like of stuff, and you can look back on it.
Nearly, I know there's a few that do have the phone lines, but outside of businesses, it is. Woo.
Well, I mean, I know like taking pictures with your phone is convenient, but how many people actually develop those pictures? And
Nobody.
Then what do you do when something crashes and you lose them all? I mean, that's horrible.
Because you think ahead and you save it to a hard drive.
I know, but not everybody does that, like me.
But it's nothing to it.
So,
you see that little white thing over here to my left?
Mm-hmm.
That's even a small thumb drive that you can hook your phone up to your computer and zoop is on there.
I know, but I just hate
Or
all
there's
that.
that other group that pays for that extra iCloud stuff to where if your phone dies, it's out there somewhere where you can have it.
I just don't like all
I'm
that.
worried about
all
Candace.
that cloud stuff. I don't even know how this is possible. I got a message yesterday that somebody was talking. I mean, this was somebody that shared a message with us that somebody they knew. So it wasn't anything, a personal experience or anything.
Did you get this message on paper? Or was
no, it was talking about how these people were in their home and they were having a conversation about a specific person, and somehow Siri sent the whole conversation to somebody else's Alexa. I don't even know how that, like the person who was being like having the conversation about the conversation was sent. I don't even know how that happened.
I totally disagree with having one of those Alexis things.
Yeah.
I
but
don't.
The Siri is on your phone.
Yeah, I know. I've never asked her a question either.
Well, I've asked her a question, but I've been going down the road and like had my phone in the little cut phone thing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden she just comes on and goes, "I didn't get that." And I'm like, "Well, I wasn't talking to you."
Candace, are you on her phone? That's funny.
So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. That's kind of odd to me, though. I don't know how that even is possible because Siri is like Apple product.
I think, yeah.
Okay. Alexa is more Google, which is more Android, right?
Is it that Amazon thing?
I guess. I don't even know. I think it's like Google. Alexa is like.
Now, I bought this thing for my mother to wake her up every day, and and I think it's one of those things that wakes up and says, "Good morning, Lucille. It's time to get up, rise, shine, take your medicine." If I'm not over there, it tells her all of that. But I don't have it hooked to anything because I don't want it recording. But it does talk to her every day.
Well, that's a neat thing. I think that's.
You could even have those things if you're into that kind of technology thing to where if you've got a parent that you have to check on, that you can hit a button and it'll go live in their house and you can hear what's going on to make sure they're okay.
Right.
And you can do it with video too.
That's good. Yeah.
But there's give and take on it. And there's a few folks out here agreeing with you here.
I just think
Pat Banks says that she agrees with you. Her phone, she's got a landline also.
I think it's a great thing to have a landline. I mean, I just think a lot of people got rid of them and I was one of them that I got rid of mine. Of course, when Kurt and I married, we, just moved his over to the house, transferred the thing. But I think I didn't want to get rid of mine. I just got tired of paying like TV.
Well, I'm telling you, my cell bill with everybody that I got on it is probably $500 or $600.
Oh, I know. And I understand people want to eliminate, but I just think it's a good thing to have for emergencies.
I mean, one of these days when my kids are 40, they might come off my plan.
Well, I never got rid of mine when my kids were younger and they were like sometimes home by themselves. They were old enough to be home by themselves, but our phones didn't work really good. We didn't have a good cell reception at the house, and I kept thinking there'd be an emergency and they couldn't get anybody. So that's why I kept the landline. And I just think it's a good thing to have. But,
this girl just never stops thinking, y'all.
And never stops talking. I'm sorry.
Jeremiah Johnson says good morning to us from Seattle, Washington. We do appreciate you watching in there. Also, Kathy Bounds agrees with you about having a landline. Sometimes her cell service is terrible.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Also, Ann McKee agrees with you. She still has a one, and Carolyn Shepard also agree.
I don't know about y'all, but our landline, like hardly nobody ever calls on the landline unless it's a telemarketer, somebody trying to sell something, spam calls or whatever. But still, I want to get on there sometime and just like act like I'm really interested.
Go for it. I want to record it. Let's see, as we go back and look at today, what went on with it? It was Waylon Jennings' birthday. He was born today in 1937. He started out as a DJ. He went on that famous scene that he made the right decision of not getting on the plane with Buddy Holly and lived to tell the story. Went on to become the outlaw, the legend, the first person to ever sell 1 million records in country music. That was Waylon Jennings. And, of course, we always saw his hands and not his face on TV. From the Dukes of Hazzard. It was just a common thing. Big day, though. Waylon Jennings, of course, he passed away back in 2002. And
I couldn't believe it's been that long.
I know. And, there at the end, right before he passed away, he lost a leg. He got gangrene and had to have a leg removed. But Waylon was such a legend. Boy, his music is great.
Yeah, that's been almost 20 years since he passed away.
That's shocking.
I cannot believe that.
I saw a picture of a guy yesterday that bought his General Lee after he passed away. They sold his General Lee, and he was trying to raise money for charities by showing Waylon's General.
A girl I work with, her husband, they have a General Lee.
Ain't nothing like
really
them.
neat. It's signed by John Snyder.
Really?
That played Bo Duke.
Yeah.
It's really neat. And you said you had one.
A long time ago. Yeah, wish I had that back.
I think that's really neat. My older son, got to ride in it, and they did like donuts out in the pasture or something one time. He thought that was the best thing in the world.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a redneck's dream come true riding in the General Lee.
Yeah.
We all know it. It's true. Who remembers Somebody's Knocking? Should I Let Him In?
I do.
Terry Gibbs is having a birthday today. She was born in 1954. That was her only hit. And if you'll remember, she was blind on top of it. And she was kind of following the Ronnie Millsap thing. And she had that big decision to make. And she chose to get out of country music and go gospel. And that's why you never heard anything else out of her on the country music scene. She went gospel, and that was her one and only hit. Okay. Still like that song today.
Did you say she's still?
To my knowledge, she is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she hasn't passed away, but she's doing gospel stuff.
You know, I always thought that was a man that sung that song.
Candace.
I promise you, I did. I always thought it was a man that sung it.
You're not pulling my leg?
I'm not.
I mean, think back.
Because I didn't know who sung it. I just remember hearing it a lot, but I did think it was a man.
Think about the words to the song. Somebody's knocking. Should I let him in? Would a guy be singing that about? I never knew he had blue eyes and blue jeans. It mentioned several times in the song.
I don't know. That's just one of those that I really didn't listen. Didn't listen to the words. She sounded kind of manly though. I mean,
that might be why she never had another hit.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know.
It was 1963 that, I don't care who you are. Okay, maybe Candace. We don't know. We're going to find out here if she knows this song. But Buck Owens had the #1 song in America called Act Naturally.
I do remember the song.
And didn't Ringo Starr have something to do with it? Yeah. He recut it years later, and Ringo Starr sang with him. Okay. But all I got to do is act naturally. They'll make a movie about a man that's sad and lonely.
I liked Buck Owens, though. I mean, I thought he was a little good addition to the
Hee-haw?
Hee-haw, because we watched that all the time with my grandparents. Shelling peas.
And I know there's folks out there that love Roy Clark, but the two together was good, but when you get down to it, Roy's songs were not really that good. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and call it the way it really is. The only other song about being act naturally, who remembers Alan Jackson, if you'll go back, USA Today? Do you remember that song? Where they call him up and they're wanting to interview the loneliest man in America. I'll be on the cover of the USA Today. Yeah. It was clever. I liked it. He also had a great song that goes in with what's going on today. I'm in a tropical depression.
Oh, okay.
Where he goes on a trip. Yeah. She dumped him. Okay.
I don't guess I heard that one. I'm gonna quit letting you look stuff up. I'm gonna be the one to look stuff up from now on. This history, because I'm gonna be like, who's Mary Lou Retton?
She was that little girl that was in Scrooge that done the backflips with Bill Murray. I know her.
Yeah.
She might have been in the Olympics. Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't have dated her or anything like that. But girl like that hurt you.
I knew, like when I was coming up, Mary Lou Retton.
Now, there was some girl named Nadia.
Nadia Comaneci.
Is she still around doing those dances?
No, they're older now. Their kids probably are, though, because I think they were big gymnasts back in the day, because I was the gymnast.
You want to know why I know who Nadia is? This is really...
It's Nadia.
Oh, it is? Not Nadia. But Mayhat, the lady that took care of me when I was growing up, used to watch what she called the stories as she was cleaning the house and taking care of me. And they used to have that on Young and the Restless, something about that woman. And that's the only reason I know who she is.
Okay.
Is that scary?
No, because we had the Young and the Restless, As the World Turns.
Boy, I still remember when they thought Miss Chancellor died in a fire. You remember that one?
She was like a cat. She had like 9 lives.
Is she still alive?
I don't know. I doubt it. Because she was old back in the day. I mean, pretty old.
And then that guy that played Victor Newman, he went on to play in some TV stuff too. I don't know if he's around. And then Nikki, was that other girl's name? That's all I know about that show. I don't know the rest of them, but.
Yeah. My grandparents, both of them, my grandmothers, they watched those stories, is what they called them, the stories.
Tammy Fleming says that Mary Lou is teaching ice skating now.
Okay.
Well, isn't that neat there?
Yeah, I knew Dorothy Hamill still does.
Forgot about her.
Yeah, she was big back in the day. Her haircut was like a big thing. Everybody wanted the Dorothy Hamill.
I remember, you're right, the hairdo. Now, I remember Tanya Harding, but what was the girl's name that she got whooped with the stick? I don't even remember her name, that she hired her boyfriend to go over and... beat
I'll
up on
think
you?
of it in a minute, but I know, yeah. I know who you're talking about there.
And folks, I know nothing about ice skating, any of that.
That was a big mess right there now. Yeah.
Melissa McWhorter said the lady who played Catherine Chancellor has passed away.
Okay.
Oh, it says Nikki and Victor are still on Young and the Restless.
Is the Young and the Restless still on? Seriously?
I assume.
Goodness.
It's just, and then that Susan Lucci chick who gets
Nancy Kerrigan. That's right.
That's who she was.
Yeah.
Oh, Nancy was hurt pretty bad. She was a pretty girl.
Yes, I mean, beat her in the leg with a stick or something.
Yeah.
And they had somebody come out there and come on the ice and hit her. That's just crazy.
Who does this? And thank you to Alicia Fisher also
Yeah.
for answering that for us. Wow.
Yes, thank you.
Let's go back to 1967. I don't care who you are. You may not have watched the entire movie, but as you've been flipping channels, you've run up on this movie before. The Dirty Dozen came out, and Charles Bronson was also in this movie. A big hit in 67, still played today on television. Reruns. You can't miss it. 1974, an album was released, and it was really a game changer for this guy. John Denver released it.
Back home again.
Yeah, and if I had spelled it right, it would even be even better. I just now noticed that.
Well, you could have put an A, like a game.
The A really would have helped in that sentence there.
Back home game.
That went on to become the album of the year in 1975, and he would go on to win numerous awards for that. If you'll remember, there's a truck out on the highway. He's an hour away from where he's going. Been a long time since I heard it, but
Yeah.
oh, John Denver. Now, this guy looks nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing like he did back in 1985.
He doesn't. I mean, I was just listening to him on the radio the other day. I mean, he's still got that. I like listening to him. I guess you consider him bluegrass.
He is now.
Okay. Yeah, bluegrass more like now, but still, he's just got that little whine to his voice, like when he sings. But I like listening to him.
This was probably my least favorite of his songs back then. Country Boy went #1 on this date, and it had Bill Monroe in the. This was when videos were just starting out. Bill Monroe was a part of it, and of course, him and Keith Whitley started out together with Bill Monroe in a band, and then later went on. And Ricky was huge there. Don't cheat in our hometown. Lots of them, but he don't look like that now.
No, he
I just
doesn't.
want to point that out.
Now, he has doesn't he have long gray, white looking hair now? But I saw him on the Opry. You know how they have the Opry Live thing sometimes? But I saw him on that one night. But I've always liked listening to him.
And then, he went through a time there to where he was a little gospel, a little country, and then he quit doing as much. And then the audiences, you were mixing and they weren't sure. Some can pull it off, but it didn't work out for Ricky there. But he's really bluegrass now and a little bit of gospel now. But that was a different kind of song. I'll say that.
My granddaddy, my papa, that's what we called him, but he used to love bluegrass music. He'd break out in song going down the road, scare me half to death in the car, just all of a sudden. I'd be looking out the window and all of a sudden he'd just bust out singing.
Really?
Bluegrass music or anything, gospel music. Yeah.
Light blues, too. This was a big day, and this is a guy from our area. Butler, Alabama is where he called home. And if you Google it, they list Meridian, Mississippi as his home because he was born in a hospital. But it was this date that his career was totally destroyed. As Ty Herndon was arrested as he was going to perform for the police convention.
Right.
He propositioned someone at that roadside park, and the career ended.
But now I did see the other day, he still
performs.
He's still performing or something, but
But he had that song, I Want My Goodbye Back. That was his second song that was really fisting to take off, and he had What Mattered Most. What an incredible song. It went #1. And then I Want My Goodbye Back was climbing at the charts, and then that happened.
Right.
And the doors in country music closed. There ain't no other way to word it, how to say it. That's what went on. Do you remember, every time I think of her name, I can't even think of a song that she sang. Only think of the cassette tapes, Memorex. Maybe because they played them every other commercial.
Yeah.
Do you remember this? Ella Fitzgerald?
Uh-huh.
Is it live or is it Memorex? And she'd bust the glass in the commercial.
Yeah.
But she passed away back in 1996 on this date. And I didn't realize it had been that long ago.
Yes.
1996.
Gosh, time just flies right on by.
It does.
It's like you wake up and
You're old.
you're old.
I didn't call you old, too. I want to point
I
that
am
out.
old.
I
I'm
didn't
older
say that.
I'm older than I was. I still feel like I ought to be like 20 something though. I mean, I don't feel like it. I just, in my mind, it seems like it was just yesterday.
She's going to be singing that old George Burns songs a little bit later called I Wish I Was 18 Again. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I do wish I was 18 again. I do. Wouldn't it be nice to go back and do things just a little bit different in some senses? I don't want to change anything about having my kids and all. I love.
Somewhere between your 20s and 30s, life isn't all that fast. But somewhere in those 30s, it hits a gear that you don't even know. And one day you're going to wake up and you're 90 years old and you still feel that you're in your 20s. And
I know. I saw a guy. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupt bad.
No.
Go ahead and say what you're saying. Well, I saw somebody the other day that just said, like, I saw somebody I had not seen at the ball tournament in years. And they were like, how you see people and you like, God, they look old.
Yeah.
And you see
yourself
and you go, oh, I'm old. I mean,
I agree with that.
But you were saying that.
It's just and maybe you don't believe me if you're watching right now. It is the fastest ride that you will ever take. This life is so short. You hear this as a kid, life is short. And you think, all them old people don't know what they're talking about. It truly is the shortest it flies. Your life will end one day. Make sure you got all your ducks in a row and you know Jesus there because it will come to an end one day. You're not going to be here forever. No matter how you think you are not.
Right.
And I want you to be prepared for that other side because it's going to go like that. It's a blink of an eye.
It does fly by. And the older you get, the faster it goes. And I don't know. But, I heard this. I don't know if you've heard of Songbird. Have y'all heard that lately? She's big in the social media now. But
She's a singer?
Yeah, she's a singer, but she had cancer, and she was on that America's Got Talent with Simon Cowell and all that. And she came on the other day. I watched a video of her singing. She sung like an original song she done, but she said a quote to Simon. She was talking, or to all of them. And she said, I just decided that you can't wait until everything in your life is perfect to decide to be happy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You can't wait till things get better to decide to be happy, and that can apply in all different, areas of your life.
I agree with that.
If you're sick or if you've gone through tragedy or if you've gone, sometimes things don't get better in a hurry, and sometimes they do. But
God sends you down paths and you don't know at the time of it just won't end. It won't end, and then there truly is a light at the end of the tunnel one day.
It really is.
But the bad stuff that you go through really teaches you to appreciate the good times because you can remember back of what you went through to get where you are.
Right. And it
and that
makes
applies
you
to
the
any
person.
age.
Right. It makes you the person who you are today. And that's just like friends that I went to school with. I mean, I love anytime I see anybody that I went to school with, I just hug their neck because I just so glad to see them because that is who taught me to be a friend.
Right.
Those are the people who taught you to be a friend to somebody else, and those are people who taught you to be who you are today, and I just appreciate them. I mean, even though I don't get to see them very often, but when I do, I'm going to hug your neck.
Carol Stamper said she's 81 years old tomorrow. She said, my mind is young, but my body is shot, but I'm thankful to be here.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching, Carol. We appreciate that. And so says this woman sitting over here who still totes around a Sears Roebuck catalog, thinking one day she'll be able to order from it again.
No, I do not have a Sears Roebuck catalog.
Don't lie to me.
But when I was a little girl, that was a staple at our house. You had to have the Sears Roebuck catalog, and I had to look at the toy section for Christmas and pick out everything I wanted. And
as we were talking about how life is so short, this guy right here, because I think he was a part of everybody's life, especially during the 70s, 80s, and on into the 90s, and now there's repeats out there. But on this date, back in 2014, Casey Kasem passed away with 82, and he influenced so many lives with his stories about the songs. Those long distance dedications.
Oh, we used to listen to him all the time. I mean, you have your little, we called it a boom box or a jam box.
Right.
You'd have it sitting in your room and be listening to the countdown.
But that just, again, backs up what we're saying here. You're not going to be here forever.
You're not.
Just keep that in mind. Some other famous folks who are having birthdays today. Do you remember Helen Hunt from Twister?
I do.
She was born in 1963. Courtney Cox, who was in Friends.
I think she's from Birmingham.
Oh, is she? Didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I know Ice-T only from some show called
Friday.
Yeah.
And Barbershop or something. Wasn't he in there?
Yeah, he was funny. And then Are We There Yet? those movies. And this little guy here, I know his face, Neil Patrick Harris, born in 73. He's another actor, and for the life of me, I can't think of the show.
The Doogie Howser guy.
That's him.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
He has a
Doogie
birthday
Howser,
today.
MD.
He was like 14 or something.
Yeah, he was a doctor, and yeah.
So, wow. Yeah, there's been a lot of those doctor shows through the years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
So, a trip down memory lane, and all we're saying at this point is to treat each day as if, well, it's your last, because you really never know what God's plan is. It has it for you. Treat each day the way it is. And
that's right. And I hate, that's one reason, I know we're fixing to do a commercial, but I really hate that today is, these days that we're living in are like they are.
All the times is what you mean.
Yeah, the times that we're living in right now have become like they are, where people hate each other and people are trying to get each other to hate each other, because it should not be like that.
No.
We have come so far in this life, I mean, from years ago, and not everything's perfect. I mean, nothing's ever going to be perfect. I don't care if people hate each other or they don't hate. I mean, nothing's still going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. The best thing to do is just try to forgive people and try to move on. I mean, everybody needs to work together to make this world a little bit better place.
I agree with that.
So, life's too short.
Jan Bushman joins us from Chattanooga, Tennessee this morning.
Good
Hope
morning.
everything is good there. And I don't know what you're doing. I guess you're visiting family, aren't you there, Jan?
Good to hear from you, Jan, this morning. I hope y'all are having...
Shirley Gardner joins us live from her hospital room. Thank you for allowing us to come in there with you and be with you. I hope everything's working out for you. You get out soon. Mm-hmm. There's nothing like those green beans that they bring you regardless of what's going to go on. Yes. That's like a staple at the hospital. Eat it.
Yeah.
I go by Anderson's Hospital at this moment. I can smell it as I get near Mr. Discount Drugs and remember those moments up there. Yes. Woo! Mm-hmm. We've got some more good mornings to say in just a moment. Let me turn and talk about our friends out at Freeman Tractor. If you're at that point where this wet stuff from the sky has been coming down and your yard's out of hand, go by and see Buttermilk, see Coleslaw today, and let them show you this complete line of lawnmowers they have from the X Mark, starting at $29.99. This will, trust me on this, it will cut your grass time in half. They're fast. You can go around, the times you have to put it reverse and back up. Mm-hmm. These, you just turn the steering wheel and zip around a tree, and you're done. Mm-hmm. You can get into one of these Skags at $46.99. That's the beginning model, and they just get better and better. From tractors with air conditioning to, you can get any attachment that you're looking for from bush hogs, and these are galvanized, won't rust. Important to have a part of what you've got with your attachments there. Front end loaders and a whole lot more if you need a benchy to ride around your yard and take care of things. They've got them with air conditioning, heating. Also the 550, the 750, a few of the pictures of what they offer in these. There's a lot of them there. See the many styles, different colors in any attachment, any part that you might need, blades, belts, radiators, they got them for you. Freeman Tractor, Highway 494, just off of Highway 19. Visit them in the big city now. Watch all that mall traffic down through there. See them today. You'll be glad you did.
Seasonal changes can have a big effect on your energy use. When outside temperatures soar either up or down, your heating and cooling system works overtime to maintain a comfortable temperature inside your home, regardless of whether you ever touch your thermostat settings. But there are easy, inexpensive ways you can stay in control of your energy use. Visit emepa.com for energy-saving tips today. East Mississippi Electric Power Association is your local Touchstone Energy cooperative.
I'm your Mississippi attorney, Richard Schwartz. For over 38 years, I've helped 18-wheeler accident victims recover millions of dollars. Remember, Mississippi, if you've been involved in an 18-wheeler accident, one call, that's all.
And welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace as we head toward 9 a.m. Boy, this morning is flying by. You've got some more folks you needed to say hello to, don't you?
Yes. I wanted to address, Tammy Fleming says that she is on the 3rd floor at Anderson's Hospital. I think it says her grandma must be in there and that she's not doing well. We just want to send prayers out to you, because I know that is a very hard time. And also, she wanted to thank Dr. Calvert. I want to say that must be Dr. Calvert up in DeKalb, the veterinarian, that he's helping with her 14-year-old border collie who is not doing well. And also,
pets are hard. Boy,
yes.
let me tell you, great guy. I like him a lot.
Prayers for you though, Tammy. Yeah, we want to send prayers to you. Thinking about you.
Jan is visiting her brother and says she's not going to a motel no matter what he says. So you hang in there. Don't you go spend that money, girl. Also, Linda Culpepper, thank you for watching, along with Debbie Joyner. They're watching from Spring Hill Road out in Zero, Mississippi. We do appreciate that. Yes. Now, we've seen this around the Meridian area a lot as we go to some headlines that are happening this morning, is this catalytic converter thing to where people are just stealing. They'd climb under your car. There was, if y'all remember the guy that had the frown on his face that we posted that was arrested for that. It was a homeless man. All he had was his car. He was sleeping in it. Now, I'm not saying he done the right thing by any means, but he was sleeping in his car, and he wakes up and he hears something, and somebody's cutting the catalytic converter out from under it.
Right.
And this is the headline there. He jumps out. He shoots the guy that's stealing his stuff. The guy isn't dead yet, and he takes it a little far at that point. He tied the guy up, hooked him to the back of his bumper, and drug him. He's now been arrested for murder.
Goodness.
The guy ended up dying from the gunshot wounds and being drugged. But
I don't even know what to say about that. I'd be mad too.
He took it a little far.
He let his temper get the most of him, and
now I posted
take back.
This story and you want to talk about something that I really for about 30 minutes it bothered me so bad I tossed and turned. It gave me the willies of the thought of what was going on, and it makes you wonder. And I don't know the answer to what I'm fixing to say. Why God doesn't step forward and intervene and stop something. It really does. I'm not doubting God by any means. Y'all don't take me wrong, but it makes you wonder why God doesn't step up and go, whoa, stop this. A toddler, and here's the headline from Daily Mail that we show. A toddler died of starvation in a Tennessee home while he was strapped in his car seat because the mom overdosed on drugs and died. And the child starved to death in the toddler seat.
So I wonder how long.
I'd have to dig deeper into this.
That is horrible.
But that bothered me so bad last night. I'm telling you, I couldn't sleep. I tossed and turned, worried about that.
Well, I think so many times, this is what's sad, is people know that things are going on with people who have children, like drugs or anything else. And sometimes even when they report it, nothing's done about it as much, because there's so much, we're going to violate their rights if we do this. And I think there needs to be some kind of, that needs to change, I think. I think that, when people give a heads up to people that, look, they're doing meth, they got a toddler, they need to be checked on. This child needs to be removed from the home. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I think there needs to be more of that, because a lot of times people just keep their mouth shut because they don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Yeah.
These children don't have a voice. They don't have a voice. I mean, they're just sitting there having to deal with whatever. And this is the aftermath of that.
Now, the story goes on to tell that they do not know how long the child was in there, but there was another child in the home that did make it. Little over 2 years old that did live.
Yeah.
Horrible situation. I mean, the only other story that I remember that gave me the willies at night after I read it, and I wish I'd never even read the story, come out of Chicago a few years ago. This was 4 or 5 years ago I read this story. It was a homeless person trying to find a warm place to sleep and goes into an old jail, and somehow or another the door jail closed behind them. And they starved to death behind that because nobody could hear them. Hollered, screamed, and it was in an abandoned building. Nobody knew.
That's horrible.
Oh, that bothered me. Can you imagine what they went through?
Right.
Because you're not getting out.
That's awful. Well,
enough of my depressing stuff.
No, like speaking on the child situation though, if you know something's going on, like if you definitely know. Now I know there's been a lot of cases where people will, jump the gun and go say something and it be totally not even right. But if you have facts that something's going on with somebody that has a child that is suffering from something or don't need to be in that, give an anonymous tip, call and let somebody know. Because like I said, these children don't have a voice.
Right. William Beckham says a child can make it maybe 2 days without water. And Megan pointed out that she could hardly even read or listen to that story. And I agree with you on that. That's a rough one there.
It is awful. Yeah.
So that's those thoughts on that. We brought up this yesterday of that story of the reporter that committed suicide supposedly in over in Birmingham, who'd moved back, who broke the story on the Clintons. And, and I made that comment of, would you want to be the next guy that breaks a story about the Clintons, whether it's true or not? It goes into releasing information that said that he'd received a lot of death threats through the years since he had reported that story. It will go down as a suicide, regardless. We don't know. That's all speculation. But it will go down in history of the books that he committed suicide. Is there more to the story? Is there more to Marilyn Monroe's death?
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sketchiness going on in some instances with all this.
So that's one of the headlines from out here. And I wanted to bring this up because when this was released that Biden was doing this, we all said that's not right. Your skin color should not matter if you're getting assistance from the federal government. And Biden did that. And I think it was illegal. And now a judge is going, he agrees with what the normal person in America was thinking.
Right.
The headline points out here, the judge has halted the unconstitutional $4 billion program to where it would bail out farmers that were Black, Hispanic, Asian, or Native American. It denied white farmers any assistance. A group of farmers have gone together and sued, and the judge says, yeah, there might be something to this, and have halted it. An investigation is underway now.
It's totally wrong. I mean, that's just totally wrong. When the pandemic hit, it didn't have it didn't specify what color person was going to attack. Okay. Everybody hurt from this. Everybody suffered from this in one way or another. It's a horrible, horrible thing. And for them to single people out to help is just ridiculous.
It is.
This is what I'm talking about.
Setting the country back.
This is what I'm talking about. You're dividing people because you're causing hard feelings amongst people of different races, even people who probably got along at some point.
Exactly.
It just causes hate, and it causes discontent, and I don't know. I don't agree with it. I think people who do that should be removed from office or any kind of decision making that they can, people who make decisions.
The only way that can be changed is at next election. If you had enough, vote.
I mean, we have come too far in this country. And some people go, you don't know what you're talking about, because I made a comment not long ago about, something that went on remember in Walgreens where the guy was trying to help that's a cute little story. As somebody commented, that's a cute little story, but that ain't the reality. Well, you know what? People like that who make comments like that, you're part of the problem. I mean, you're part of the one that set things back, because anything positive in my eyes is a great thing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Anything positive that can bring us together and can, bring us forward in a positive manner is what we need to be here. And all this negativity and all this stuff just needs to stay put where it is. I mean, I can do without it myself.
I agree with you 100% there. Yeah. Sarah Neese said that she wanted to thank all of the people that went way out of their way to help the needs of all these folks that went through the storm the last couple of days. And I agree with you, Sarah. There's some data boys that need to be. I've seen countless pictures on Facebook of people cutting trees out of other people's driveways. Thank y'all for doing that. It shows that we do have some great people still in our community. And another thing that I wanted to point out with all these storms here, the Precast Group, they're right here in Meridian. If it gets to all these storms where you want a safe place to place your family during them, talk to the Precast Group. They build these here, and your family will be safe. Now, if you're building a home, you can install this before the home is finished. They'll put it in a slab, and it can be a part of your closet. If your home is already built, they can deliver one of these and have it set up in no time flat, and you can design this out, and you don't have to worry anymore about what a storm's going to do to you, because you'll be safe.
Yes.
They're 20,000 pounds. These doors are solid steel. Nothing's going through them. And you can even have the type that is buried into the ground, that's in the heel, or you can have the above. Whichever you prefer that suits you and your family, you can design it out as to how many people you want to sit in it. It's great. Talk to them. This is what the pictures look like.
Just to have peace of mind, is the best thing.
The Precast Group. Call them today, 482-0003. They'll take care of you right here in Meridian. They're made, and they're really good. See them today at the Precast Group.
I'm your Mississippi attorney, Richard Schwartz. For over 38 years, I've helped 18-wheeler accident victims recover millions of dollars. Remember, Mississippi, if you've been involved in an 18-wheeler accident, one call, that's all.
As we come back, this was just not much mentioned of it in the news, but Ned Beatty has passed away. And we're talking about the guy that was in Deliverance. Do y'all remember the movie Shooter? He was the senator in that. He has passed away at the age of 83. And let me find a picture that you'll probably recognize of him. Here's a picture of him when he was on Roseanne.
Yeah, he was Dan's dad on Roseanne.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was. And he ended up marrying Roseanne's friend. I can't remember what her name was, but he married her friend, young blonde-haired lady on there, on the show.
Right.
But I never knew his name. I've always seen his face, and I thought he was a good actor and stuff, But he plays the bad guy on a lot of things, on a lot of movies that I'd seen. He kind of played.
Now, I have never seen this movie, so y'all have to, maybe everybody knows her, and I just don't. Lisa Baines, are you familiar with her?
No, her face looks familiar. I've seen her on stuff, but...
Gone Girl, a movie?
Yeah, I never saw that.
But she was crossing the street, and they're calling it an electric scooter, so I don't know if they mean an electric motorcycle or what it was. But she was struck, and they drove off. She was admitted to the hospital, and she has died from her injury. She got a head injury out of that, and she has passed away. I think she was in her 60s, but struck in the middle of a street and left.
That's awful.
So 2 celebrities that we've lost there in the last 24 hours. But Ned Beatty,
that's like a freak accident.
It is. Just horrible there. This I don't understand. We won't spend a whole lot of time on this, but as we look at different crimes across America, people burning down things, shooting people, and they get out in 10 minutes after this. This guy gets, the headline is an Iowa man who pulled down his mask, he got in an argument in a store. He should not have done this. He spit in somebody's face. Well, they try to make a plea deal with him, and he goes, no, I'm going to court to fight y'all.
Right.
He gets 10 years in prison for spitting on somebody. Now, again, what he done was wrong, but 10 years for spitting on somebody when you can murder somebody else in another town or burn down a building?
Right. There's no rhyme or reason to some of this stuff. I just don't even understand, I mean, I'm not spitting on somebody now. That's awful. I would hate for somebody to spit on my face. I'd hate it for me and I'd hate it for them. But I mean, that's horrible.
No.
But to get 10 years in prison for it, that's odd to me.
I'm shocked by that story.
Yeah. I mean, you're letting murderers go on the streets.
As we go to New Jersey, I mentioned this, I think it was last Saturday morning, as we get more into this, they are trying to cancel any holidays. Now on the school calendars in New Jersey, they're putting, instead of Thanksgiving, they're writing in a day off so that they will not offend anybody for Thanksgiving or Christmas. Something got to stop, folks. Our country is being taken away from us before our very eyes. I don't know what the answer is, but your congressman, whoever represents you, wherever you're watching this morning, should hear from you. Things like this do not need to keep going. I am in total disagreement with this.
Even if they take it away, the stuff that they take away in society nowadays, we still going to celebrate it at my house.
Right.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, I'm going to say Merry Christmas, instead of Happy Holidays.
Right. Ain't no Happy Holidays for me. It's Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Have you seen the story of the guy that claims that he was swallowed by a whale like Jonah?
I did see that.
Now they're saying something could be suspicious about this. They say that not enough bones are broken and that he may have made it up. I don't know. Is he telling the truth? He swears he is.
Yeah, I read the thing the other day about, he said that everything just went, he felt a real hard, strong nudge and everything went dark. And then he felt like he was being squeezed by the mouth of the whale. There's no, do they have teeth? I don't even know.
I don't know. I've never.
I think they just swallow things whole. But, and then somebody who knew about whales and knew that certain breed of whale, they said that it's not possible for certain things
to happen.
It would be really a freak accident if that happened, and the possibility of it was,
He says that he came to the thing and he was spit out.
Yeah.
We don't know, but it is a very odd thing, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I wouldn't be that happy. I'd still be traumatized. I wouldn't be going, oh yeah, No, I would be traumatized if something like that happened to me.
So we can't thank y'all enough for joining us this morning here. We're going to come back tomorrow, if that's okay with y'all. We'll be all up on your television. We'll be all over your Facebook.
Giving our opinions. And taking your opinions. And
we want to hear from you.
That's right. We're blessed to have you with us every day. And to be able to do this every day is a blessing. So, we're just glad to be here.
Thanking you for the success. Again, coming up Friday, we'll have a chance for you to win some lunch to go to Chino's. All that's on the way. Again, as we say goodbye, thank you. We'll be in touch. Always leave a comment. We love to hear from you. And I'll let you say our final goodbye there.
Well, I just hope everybody has a blessed Tuesday, a safe Tuesday, and we'll see you back in the morning.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by